Welcome once again to the Stts show. This show is called the Sydney Table Talk Show. Today I'm still going to be talking about the Ogiamien of Benin Nation and the Oba of Benin. Because as events in Nigeria continues to unfold itself, there is always reason for me to align information from other parts of the country with what is happening in Benin. I was listening to the comment of my able senator from Bayelsa. He said the federal government must document the history of the country properly, most especially that of the Igbos. But what Ben Mure Group does not know is that there are documents. Mr. Mure, with all due respect, there are documents of the history of Nigeria. Don't forget, the British conquered the Niger area. And when they came in, there was no Nigeria, Mr. Ben Mure Group. There were kingdoms. And those kingdoms were all documented. So today, if we try to go beyond our historical arrangement, it's because of what we say, greed. We want to forget our history so soon. Now, I come back to the Ogiamien of Benin Nation and Oba of Benin. My analysis today will be based on the incongruencies of the book written by Osahon Onaiwo on the history of Benin. Let me say that that book is what we call, we can say that book is a piece of folklore from the Oba's palace. That book does not tally with what the federal government have in their archives. For start, we're going to talk about Ogiamien. I think that we all know that in history, Ogiamien was the Oba of Ife, not the Oba of Benin. So, those who would be in position to know Ogiamien are the people from Ife. So, if the people of Ife are saying that Ogiamien has one child, and that child is called Akondi, I wonder how the people of Benin would come and tell the people of Ife how many children Ogiamien has. Plus, in their story or in their folklore, they did not tell us the people who were present when the Benin chiefs visited Ogiamien. No story like that in Ife shows that anybody came from Benin. These things are all there. The Yorubas are still alive. If Ogiamien was a Caladera, and the Benin chiefs actually left Benin, went to Ife. There, first and foremost, the Benin people had good source of information that a Caladera is not Ogiamien, which means somebody would have connected the Benin chiefs to Ogiamien. And who could have been this person? That person must have come from Ife. So, in Ife, there is no story that the Ife people saw the Benin chiefs visiting Ogiamien. In fact, in Ife, they are saying that Ogiamien was like a spirit. It was difficult to see Ogiamien. Now, having said this, I am going to discuss again the issue of the generational gap. We all know in history that Owodo and Irian were brothers. But if you look at the folklore of Onaiwo Osahon, you will find out that from Owodo, the father of the purported Caladera, to Oromiya, to Eweka, to Wakwahe, to Ehemihe, and to Ewedo, we're talking about 6 different personalities. In this same period, the Evian of his royal family produced Evian as the third of his soul, Erebo as the first Ogiamien, Ode as the second Ogiamien. So if you look at this very particular mathematical configuration, what you find out is that why Evian produced Erebo and Ode, Owodo, his brother, produced Ogiamien, Oromiya, Eweka the first, Wakwahe, Ehemihe, and Ewedo. You can see that there is a big problem in balancing these facts. Let's move to the next topic. Onaiwo defines the Ogiamien's kingdom as a chiefdom. But again, he contradicted himself when he said the chiefdom was selling lands to the kingdom. Is it possible for a chiefdom to sell land to a kingdom? This is quite, these are the questions we must ask these people, because you say things, but we must ask you, is it possible for a chiefdom to sell lands to kingdom? You see, when I will forgot, he did not tell us how Igodomigo, after the end of the dynasty of Yogisos, how the Ogiamien founded the new Benin Empire. Because the new Benin Empire, Mr. Sahonawo, did not start in Uselu. The new Benin Empire started in a region where the Ogiamien lives. And this was the main reason why Ewedo had to come and sign the treaty with Ogiamien, because he saw himself living in the bush. He saw himself not being a king to nobody. He was a king of the birds when he was in Uselu. This is the reason why Ewedo. Now, that is God. And again, in his book, I was trying to... He did not talk about the people of Yekoriamo. He did not talk about the people of Igobaoka. He did not talk about the people of Yekoba. He did not talk about the people of Oredo East. You see, he did not talk about the people of Urudun. Osahon, I would mislead us, because the Benin history is not completely wrapped around the Oba of Benin. He was too busy, preoccupied, trying to polish the Oba of Benin. But what he has forgotten, he was only writing a folklore that the Oba's palace dictated to him, because the British archives does not show that. What the British archive shows is that when they came to Benin, the Oba of Benin was occupying the Ogbe Uselu Benin kingdom, while the Ogiamien was occupying the Utantan Benin kingdom, which spreads to the east. Now, he said, Ogiamien Rebo was surprised by Ewedo. I have told you people before, look at the generational gap. Can Ewedo surprise Eredo? It's impossible. Ewedo is not known to be a great king. The best thing that Ewedo did as the Oba of Ogbe Uselu was negotiating the treaty of Ethiopia with Ogiamien. And let me tell you that Oba EREDIAUWA, with all his educations in Cambridge, only came to prove that he undermined the integrity of the average Edo man. Because the Ethiopia Treaty is a treaty that lasted for 750 years. And let us not forget that the British wrote books that our people were primitive, that our people have no sense, no capacity, no sense of organization. But if the Ethiopia Treaty that was signed in 1255 AD lasted to 1979, this shows it's a contradiction of what the British were saying. But EREDIAUWA is trying to make us look like what the British were saying, trying to distort this. EREDIAUWA should have realized that the Ethiopia Treaty is so important, because in Benin, we often say, Ogiamien, Ba. These are things that we all know. If the Ogiamiens have been passive in the last 39 years, this does not take away their rights to what their forefathers labored for. Their forefathers founded Benin. And nobody is dragging the territory of the Oba of Benin. And I don't think that we are dragging the title of the Oba of Benin. Like we said before, Osahornawu was such a smart guy. He did not write clearly in his book what happened between Isiero and the Oba. He did not tell us how the Oba, who is the king of the whole of Benin of the Yokoro, had no authority until 1979, because this is a document which is saying this now. This is a federal document which is still valid. Attention, right? The federal document is still very valid. The state document, I call it a fallacy, because nowhere in Nigeria that the Price Recommendations Commission was altered. That of Benin is going to be impossible. If the Supreme Court so decide to pass verdict in favor of the Oba of Benin, we, the Ogiamiens, we are going to fight him to a standstill. Our forefathers labored for that city. We have every right to reap, not his forefathers, because our fathers gave all the lands he had for the development of the city. This is the message that we are sending to the Oba of Benin. Again, Osahonaiwo did not tell Benin people that until 1979 at the Benin Royal Palace, the liberations were done in Yoruba. It was EREDIAUWA who came because they were so afraid that if these things should continue, the Benin people would question the authenticity of their family as part of the Ogiso's family. EREDIAUWA had to change the modus operandi, but this is the truth. And again, until EREDIAUWA came, the Uzamas were the most powerful people in his palace. But when he came, EREDIAUWA, what he did was to sideline them, create a new power structure. What does EREDIAUWA have the right to create a new power structure in the Benin Palace? No, he does not. We're talking of a historical tradition. The Uzamas, who are his senators, those men. But what EREDIAUWA had done is to create a new structure where the Uzamas did not have any role. Did not have any role. And let me tell you, those of you who are still thinking that Benin is all about Yoruba, there are very many clear differences between the Benin of the Oba and Benin of the Ogiamien. Let me tell you, for example, in the Benin of the Ogiamien, we were historically restless. We do things that today we do not do anymore, because